I just think we complicate it with a whole lot of things. Yes, we'll go to school and whatnot, but entrepreneurship is basically solving a problem, and in solving that problem, you get a financial growth and you grow from there. So basically, for me,
I want to applaud it. You know, you can't teach entrepreneurship. You can only inspire it from people. I think we had a similar question last time, and I want to go back to that. I said, we can't. Okay.
What's the next question?
All right. Sorry.
Should we go to the next question?
I'm done. Not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. And not everybody's going to make their millions and billions from entrepreneurship. Some people are going to do their MBA. People are going to be COO, CEO, CFOs. So as like he said, we cannot impose it on people. That's where now the power of entrepreneurship comes from. Entrepreneurship is hunting. So when you realize, I gave an example last time. I said, when I was in primary, my teacher showed us something very powerful. He said, when you're doing a multiple choice answer, which is your A, B, C, D, you will realize that two are similar and the two are similar, probably negative and positive. So what you do is that you begin, if you are confused, you begin to take out the ones you are sure are not the ones, and you're going to be left with two similar ones. And then I use that example to say, sometimes school doesn't have to point you in the right direction. It can only show you who you are not meant to be. With school, you get to realize that I'm not meant to be a banker, a nurse, or whatever. Then you find your path to entrepreneurship. And I said, if we're going to make it easy by teaching people entrepreneurship, we're going to cut short the process of entrepreneurship. I watch a movie called The Social Network, Mark Zuckerberg's story. People claim he stole the idea from them. They were in Harvard. Is it Harvard? Yeah. They were in Harvard. 3 other guys in a Harvard school. And you would think that in that school, we're going to develop entrepreneurs, but they're crying over something they never built. So we cannot teach it. It's about a person. It's inspiration. It comes from deep down inside of you, and you're trained towards that. So if we're going to change the whole curriculum to suit our laziness, I'll call that. Because a lot of people, because I have a friend of mine, Umesh, he says to me, Keith, do 1 or 2 things in your life. Never complain. Entrepreneurs are not complainers. If you're an entrepreneur, anything that comes, you find a solution. Whenever I hear somebody's thinking, oh my God, are those people listening to me? But an entrepreneur is thinking, how can we make it more audible? An entrepreneur is thinking, okay, how can we get heaters? Can we what? There's 2 people, those who are going to complain and those who are going to bring a solution. So we cannot drag it into the curriculum. We need to inspire it from people. If Mahang is going to come, it's not in his entrepreneurship journey to come and teach everybody. He did his own, he did his part. So if I feel like Mahang can help me, I have to hunt him down. I have to make sure that he listens to me and I get whatever it takes, because that's what entrepreneurship is. It's not things coming on your table, you have to go find them.
Thank you very much. Sorry, so before you close that. So I don't know if we addressed the question, right? Because I like what you're saying, right? That you can't teach entrepreneurship, right? But then the reason why most people realize late into their careers that, hey, hang on, this is not working for me, is because we're not exposed. And I think that's what the education system should do. It should expose people to avenues in which they can use their talents. Because if school is to give us talents, then we need to know how to then employ those, right? The reason why most people work jobs is because they know that as the most sure bet for financial freedom. So that's what they do, because they aren't exposed to the other stuff, right? But if you do have somewhere in your syllabus where you now talk of your Mahangs and other successful businessmen, and people are like, hang on, I can use this skill and not sell it to a company who then sell it to someone else and make much more money. So I think that's where there needs to be that balance, that the children need to know that this is available, this is available. Yes, we can't all be entrepreneurs, but exactly, it is an option, and you don't have to get a job to be financially free, because that's the reason why we do why we wake up every day, is that one day we will be financially free. That's it.
Thank you very much. This is an amazing question. I don't know if anybody wants to jump in. I'm not feeling like raising it. came with a different side of things.
Like you see, I like the way that they are painting it for us to see. Entrepreneurship, people even how those who are in business will tell you things get real, it's serious. You don't want to stand to a point where you feel like it's a light. For me, there were points where like it was already thinking like they come 5 minutes, they have this type of shakes, and like I'm spending my 12 hours actually at knock off at 10 p.m. But this is how I do. There are a lot of things that happen in entrepreneurship, but when we do entrepreneurship like most of people that we in this country trying to develop as for government it's not going to work for us. It's going to do what we are trying to do in the long run. So if we are to advise government with regards to how education should be taught, I think the inspiration would be like making an option. If the whole point of going to school is so that you can somehow feel yourself and you can go to job, you can also be a business. Not only talk about bring people who are real, people that can inspire you to see it. I can't have a lot of people that talk to me. I remember when people came to speak with us, I remember the lady that for those people who were invited. I remember the lady who came to teach us I remember those things, but I don't remember most of the things I was taught at primary school. The things that I'm not used to that came at that particular time in extraordinary. And I believe that even the person that I am, I was inspired by some of those things. I'm a musician. You know how I became a musician? There was drums. I can't play them because they let go from them. It's very, very sensitive. My sister played them. So you would like one more opportunity to shout until I got.
Okay, thank you very much for that answer. I get to but different opinions, amazing opinions. Now from my own side, I would really like to say, let's have options. Let's give options. The last question before we take a 5 minutes break, I was about to say, let's help the young people who are watching us, who are listening to us. Can you select at least 3 sectors that you believe there are problems and that you can come up with a solution to that anybody out there can use? Hello, and how about we do this about somebody can use? Let's not be selfish.
You want us to share
if it's something that you see. Because we are here to give solutions. We are inspiring those kids out there. So let them live with something.
The challenges everywhere.
Give just.
I mean, you look at our ICT setup right now, and you just take your 31-hour drive just across the border and you see that, oh my goodness, there's just a whole lot that we don't have in the country. Just earlier on, we were talking about the free Wi-Fi zones all over South Africa, and you're having also Bofinet trying to benchmark into that. But I don't think the challenge that we have there would be how did they implement and who came up with that idea in the same place, and what implementation thingy did they adopt, So that boils me down to what I always say to you: participation and collaboration is very key, because they're not going to all be sorry.
What did he say?
No, I say she must. I was thinking. Right. Yes. Participation and collaboration would be the solution to the vast challenges that we have as a country. Because everywhere you go to the health sector, there are challenges. We still have a long way to go. You go to education, there's a whole lot that is still there to be done. Financially, legal-wise, there's just a whole lot that we need to do.
I think because entrepreneurship obviously is solving problems. A lot of times, right, for us in Botswana, really we base our decisions on, I don't know, old information or not good information, right? You try and Google anything regarding Botswana, it's outdated information. So there's really not a strong culture of research. Research sells, information sells. People make decisions on information. So I think that's something that the youth can look into. Packaging information, doing routine research on key metrics. Even when you do your shopping, do you know who's selling the cheapest sunlight in the country? You don't, but you're just going to shop at Spar. But if we had somewhere where we could price compare, and those things are there in South Africa, you can just put one thing, sunlight, 750 mils. Shop right, it's $17 or whatever. We don't have those, so we just make decisions based on your bank. Is it the cheapest bank? Do you know? Can you compare? Your insurance company, things like that. So just gathering information, package it, sell it to consumers, even sell it to companies. Yeah.
And pretty much, I think we should also try and be open-minded, like travel. It doesn't mean you need to be a millionaire to travel just to Zimbabwe, to Zambia, to South Africa. Make friends across the continent, whereby you say, I need to go and find out what's happening in Kenya. Joint ventures, they're the solution. You don't need to have millions to open up that ICT, come up with that ICT solution in the country. You can find somebody who's already doing that and they have the resources. You have the opportunity here in the country. They would bring their resources to the country. Joint ventures, and then you bring, at the same time, you're bringing solutions to the country.
But my 2 cents, when we talk about having to share ideas, I do, Facebook, I think I'm one of the people who share food ideas. But this is one thing, I don't have any now to share, but this is one thing I want people to start saying. But what I can say is, look at it this way. But more business I have that because of either of these reasons. One, you're just sitting and then you thought about something and you feel like I should do this, and then maybe later find out that you don't need to do it, or you find like this is really something to do because of market valuations. Or you go to a certain place and then you have a certain experience and you feel like there should have been something like this, and then you start doing it. That's the way I know people. Unless if somehow you get revealed to you by God in a dream, there's need for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the normal circumstances is just 2 reasons. But I normally say this: the reason why foreigners come into a country, I'm sure the reason why they come into a country and see opportunities everywhere is not because they are smart, it's not because they hear God, no, it's not because of any reason. It's simply because they know stuff that needs to be there, but they don't see them here. And then they feel like they need to do that. For example, most of these guys who are doing business in the whole of the CBD, they didn't create those things. They felt like this thing is benefiting people back home, and therefore I can do it here. Not because that the people do it, they leverage on the 100% of the rights in doing that. But now we don't know that we need to do it because we don't even feel like the need for it to be there. So the best thing to do is to do what she said. For me, now I'm a person who travels a lot. I just arrived this morning from Francis Tower. Yeah, the first week I was from Tanzania and all of that. I started seeing things that I've been to the Philippines, and when I was there, I felt like, this thing can make a lot of money. Therefore, hell of that. So, this was about relata creativity and the originality. Where I want to be Aristotle or all of these guys. I invented this. So we don't see that business that on 2 different crafts. When I say what they like he was saying, they need a lot of money to be proven where they can be profitable and then they can go. So most of the money that gets into it goes down the graph before it can go up. When I say what they start now and the graph goes up right there and there because they already been proven by other people. So if you are solving a problem, I'm the person who created this. I was the first person to do this. If something makes money, people need it, and you can do it. That's what I want you to do. Hey, go Forex.
Okay, thank you very much.
I would say this to the young he mentioned that we should learn to research. And then we should learn to research. Don't just take anything as it comes. Now here is one thing that I found too, that can help a young man out there who's looking for a job and whatnot, or you're looking to do something. There's this thing called network marketing. It's an industry. And a lot of times here, our people, we take it the wrong way. We take it in the wrong perception. But when you look in the outer world, this is an industry that actually produces millionaires or multi-millionaires. So let me just say this to youth out there. There are a lot of network marketing companies out there, and a lot of them. You can actually use one of them to push or to jumpstart you, to get some funds and then maybe possibly fund whatever that you want to do. Network marketing is an industry that is capable of producing multi-millionaires. You do it the right way. He mentioned it. Go into YouTube, educate yourself, or get yourself learned. Network marketing. I'm not specific to any company, but I'm simply saying you do it the right way, you make your millions. And if you take note of these network marketing companies, they are global. There's actually no limit to who you can reach. They are in a global platform. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention names, but we know them. We know the Amways, we know the Forever Livings, we know the Herbal Lives, we know the average things. What went, So I'm giving this, I'm giving this out to you guys. Learn it, do it the right way, and make your millions. You can actually use it to fund whatever that is, whatever that you want to do.
Thank you very much.
Let me
Just
one thing. Guys, don't undermine your talent. There are a lot of guys making money out of their talent. For example, in our Botswana here, we have our own V, and we have in Jamaica. We have a lot of guys making money out of their talent. So never take granted for the gifts that we have been given in life.
Can I just say one last thing?
Okay, say one last thing.
Yes. And to us, existing businesses or existing companies, why not adopt the same model of these existing network marketing companies and become global and get your services or your products and make them global? You list in the stock exchange. You list in the stock exchange. I mean, basically that's what these companies are doing. And I think I've searched, I've looked, I'm yet to find, you may correct me, but do we have an African corporation that is using the network marketing model to become global? So I'm throwing it to you guys. Here's an opportunity that you can take advantage.
Guys, as we are having our drinks, let's think about that. Let's see.
Yeah, more
5 minutes
more
break.
fires.